another year and I'ma keep inclining.
Well, hello, Jayme. Bryan Alvarez here. Here to answer what appears to be an extremely pressing question. Given there was a 24-hour requirement, I don't know why. But I'm here to answer, because that's what I do. What do I think of the upcoming Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight on Netflix in November? Well, got a lot of thoughts. First off, I don't like fights like this. Because Mike Tyson, he may be Mike Tyson and all, but he's an old dude. And I've seen footage of him training. I've seen the kind of shape that he's gotten into. Doesn't matter, brother. You're looking at a guy right now, me, 49 years old, my knee's shot, and I can tell you, it doesn't matter how great a shape you get into, doesn't matter your training camp, you can't stop Father Time. So a 57, I think he is, 57-year-old man going in there for this fight, I think it's a bad idea. Already got, postponed once because of some issues with Tyson's health. So I think the fight itself is a terrible idea. With that said, I think an enormous amount of people are going to watch this fight on Netflix. I think it's going to do gigantic viewership because it's a freak show fight, and Mike Tyson's got a name. Of course, Jake Paul's got a name as well, but I think a lot of people that wouldn't normally watch something like this are going to watch it because of Mike Tyson. So at the end of the day, mixed feelings. Business-wise, probably going to do great business. But would I ever allow a fight like this to happen if I were a commission? I would not. But you know what? I'm not the commission. So, I should say, if it airs on Netflix in November, not sure I'll be watching, but I'm sure I'll know what happens. So anyway, I want to thank you very much, Jayme. Appreciate the question. If you have any more, I'm here for you. Usually better with the pro wrestling questions, but I do know a little bit about old Mike Tyson, because I did used to buy those pay-per-views back in the day. And I once beat his ass at Punch-Out. I'll talk to you again after a while.
Jayme, what's up? It's CBV, Chris Van Vliet, and I've had this date on my calendar for a long time for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I had it on my calendar the first time before it was rescheduled. I just think it's such an interesting fight. A lot of people tune in just to see Jake Paul lose, and he keeps proving those people wrong. Some massive knockouts. And anybody who says that Jake Paul can't fight, they clearly haven't watched any of his matches, because the guy knows how to fight. Mike Tyson, one of the greatest of all time. We just haven't seen him box in a long time. So it'll be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. I kind of feel like it's kind of lose-lose for Jake Paul, right? Because if you beat him, you beat a guy who's almost 60 years old. And if you lose to him, well, you lose to a guy who's almost 60 years old. So I just hope they both bring their A game, and I will be tuned in. Can't wait to see what ends up happening here. Who do you got?
I'm Mike Tyson.
What's up, Jayme? It's Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret. Thank you so much for asking about my thoughts about the upcoming Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight happening in November. Let me preface this by saying, I'm not a very ardent follower of the sport. I don't really have a dog in the fight. Kind of looking at the situation, looking at the, ages between the two of them, the recent experience between the two. Obviously, Mike Tyson has been a trained boxer and has been trained to box for so much of his life, whereas Jake Paul doesn't have the experience, but he does have more recent matches and wins under his belt. And the last time Tyson fought was 4 years ago. Not to mention Tyson has his own health issues, but you see the man train, he still can pack a punch. It's not like Jake Paul is going in against somebody who, is a pushover, let's just say. It's a tough one to pick. I would really hope that we don't see Paul like knock out Tyson. I think it's gonna be one of those like, those dream boxing matchups, or those kind of ones that are really get a lot of traction online, and then once the fight actually happens, it's just kind of there. I'm worried it'll kind of be one of those where it just kind of comes down to a judge's decision. And as far as who I think is gonna win, I think Jake Paul, he's got nothing to lose, I think that Tyson has a lot more to lose because of his reputation in the boxing world. So it's really tough for me to pick this one. My gut is telling me Jake Paul is going to win based on his youth alone. I think Mike Tyson can get lucky and hit a couple of big shots, and that might be the difference maker. But, that's kind of like the casual thought, the casual bet for Tyson to win just because he's the bigger name. But I think in a fight such as this, I would almost give it to Jake Paul, begrudgingly. Not that I like Mike Tyson, but I dislike Jake Paul more in this realm, and so I think it'd be I think that's what people want to see. They want to see Tyson, the old lion, humble the young lion, the YouTuber turned boxer. People don't like that kind of transition, so I think there's a lot of people who want Tyson to win, but deep down, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Paul. But what do I know? I'm not much of a boxing guy, and I don't even know if I'll watch the fight, but it's definitely something to think about, and I'm sure no matter what happens, it'll get people talking and probably make people upset. But anyway, Jayme, I appreciate you reaching out and asking me that question. I hope that my answer was satisfactory. I'm Bryan Zane, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Brian and CVV. Yeah, letting the top guys in pro wrestling media give their thoughts and prediction on the battle of the of our lives, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Fuck Dana White versus a Chris Brown gonna make you shit your pants. So nobody predicted Tyson's gonna win. That's interesting. It's interesting how a kid from the Disney Channel could come up and everyone would think he would beat Mike Tyson's ass. Wait a minute, we have one more famous person?
There's a question here. My eyeball hurts. All right, it's to Jayme Joshua. Danhausen, hello. All right, what is this? I'm Danhausen, very nice, very evil. You know this, you'll ask me questions. Who do you think will win an upcoming boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? Also, would you rather fight if you had to pick one? Oh, my God. Well, I think Mike Tyson would. But secondly, what I would have is Dredrick Tatum would destroy both of them. And hopefully if I had to fight someone, the Fan Man would come save me. So that's my answer, the Fan Man. Fan Man will save me. All right, love that, Danhausen. Could you order this out?
Oh, fucking right. Danhausen going with Tyson. Finally, someone agrees with me, because that's my pick. That's who I got, CVV. Yeah, subscribe to everybody. You can find all these guys on YouTube. Bryan Alvarez, host of Wrestling Observer Live and Wrestling Observer Radio with Dave Meltzer, like pretty much every day. Go to F4W Online. There's 109,000 subscribers. Chris Van Vliet, CVV. Second time hearing from him on the show. Thanks, man. 528,000 subscribers. That's just on his main channel. I didn't even check his Clips channel, which probably had more. That dude is blown up. Wrestling with Regret. That's where you'll find Bryan Zane on YouTube. 377,000 subscribers. 377,001 after you subscribe today. And love that Danhausen. Love that prediction. Going with Tyson. The only person with the balls are crazy enough to predict Tyson will win. Fucking Danhausen. Jayme Joshua. 130,000 subscribers. That can't be right. There's certain